Time to watch the Eagles lose today. All right, we're back here on some more Black Ops 3 free run. This is kind of just going to be a background thing. I'm going to try to do some good runs and stuff while I'm talking, but whatever. So today's Sunday. I've been trying to tell myself since I basically uploaded daily over the past like 7 years, 8 years, whatever the fuck, however long it's been at this point. I've been trying to do my best for myself to, you know, take some breaks here and there. And by breaks, I don't even mean the typical breaks that most, you know, YouTubers or streamers especially take where they're just like gone for months at a time and shit. If I left for months, I don't even know who I am if I don't upload, so... yeah, don't worry, I'm speaking to a therapist about it. So, I actually ended up going back and watching the old BO3 free run videos that I was doing against and with Apex. I think my best time ever was like... oh, fuck. Alright, restart. I think my best time that I ever ran back on Black Ops 3, unless I found a better time, I got around 2 minutes and 4 seconds. I don't know if I ever passed that point. I don't think I ever got under 2 minutes. I can't believe I'm still there. Now, I don't really think I'm ever gonna beat that time, even if I did just keep running this or whatever, because I don't really remember a lot of the times, and also I can't really G-slide anymore. Or apparently, people were telling me that you still can, but I don't know how to do it then, so... fuck. I was watching the fights last night, and I'm trying to remember everything that happened. There was a dude that ended up getting knocked out that he literally levitated. That's how everybody was even describing. He levitated. He was in the middle of throwing like a body kick or like a low kick or something, and he ended up just getting caught with a cross. Maybe it was like a hook. I don't remember, but the dude sat down on the punch. Yeah, it was a hook. Full weight of his body just went straight into that blow, and the dude, as he had his leg up and everything, he ended up getting hit with it, and his whole body, he just like went complete... he already had one leg up off of the ground from, you know, throwing the kick or whatever, and then when he got hit, his other leg flew off of the ground as well, completely got lifted up off of the mat, fell down, head bounced off the canvas and shit. It was brutal, man. What else was happening that night? That guy fucking levitated. Betch Kohea ended up retiring. Mostly she's known for just getting her ass whooped by Ronda Rousey, but been around a long time, so it's always sad to see, like, you know, long-time fighters retire and everything, but at the same time, you know, I'd rather not watch them take, you know, brain damage either. Thiago Santos versus Johnny Walker. Honestly, I thought he was just gonna get completely outclassed, but I mean, Thiago Santos did win. I predicted that he would win just because I felt like he was the better fighter. He understood how to do a 5-round fight in comparison to Johnny Walker, who usually expends a shit ton of energy within a 3-round fight. But once his 5-round bout came around and, you know, I guess Johnny realized, you know, obviously, this is a top 5, you know, possibility. He beat Santos there. He moves from number 10 to number 5. Huge jump. And honestly, I thought that jump was going to be way too much for him. But after watching that fight, I mean, some people could make the argument that he actually won that fight. I think Santos did enough just because of the based on damage, effective striking, which is always number 1. Yeah, whatever, man. Like, people keep talking about total strikes and everything per round or whatever, but if you really count it more like, you know, heavy attacks, medium attacks, light attacks, and then kind of value them at a different value between each other, the more significant strikes and damage being done in biggest moments belong to Thiago Santos. Landed more heavy shots, definitely won rounds 2 and 3 and 5. Kevin Holland came back from Hendrickstan. That's what he calls it. He was training with Johnny Hendricks, who arguably beat GSP. I mean, he tested positive for steroids, but... and as soon as USADA came in, Johnny Hendricks did not look like the same fighter. But regardless, I mean, he definitely knows how to wrestle, so, having Kevin Holland after his one fight where he just got absolutely dominated by Derek Brunson, he, you know, definitely did good by actually seeking out some accomplished wrestlers and shit. What the fuck? I boosted. I had enough boost, it didn't jump. It simply didn't jump. You heard it spat out right there at the end. Just, oh yeah, speaking of controls, dude, I had people fucking in the comment sections on the first free run video that I did recently anyway. They're like, oh dude, if you think this movement was crazy, you should try some Titanfall. You COD kids that know nothing about that. You're right, you know, honestly, I should go and play some Titanfall. I'll just boot it up and get right onto this. Oh. You heard that little spurt where it literally just didn't respond? That's crazy, man. Kevin Holland was fighting Kyle Dawkins, who he's kind of like a tall, long kind of guy. I think he mostly has like submission wins and decision wins and stuff. I don't even know if he has any knockouts, but striking wasn't looking too bad. He's long and everything, so that always helps. But they ended up getting into some grappling exchanges, and I mean, Kevin doesn't look too bad. It was really funny. He was talking to DC. Kevin Holland is one of those dudes that is like well known for the way that he literally talks in the octagon. Not just like to the people he's fighting, but he'll straight up talk to the desk. He's got Kevin up against the cage here. He's very long. And then Kevin looks over at the desk and he goes, DC, yeah, he's so long. So long. I love Kevin Holland's energy, man. He's so fun to watch. Win or lose, regardless. I love his energy. He's the type of dude, like, he'll throw down. Like, he'll give you his phone number after the fact, and if you got a problem and shit like that, if you thought things were unsolved, it's like, yo, give me a call. We can go and settle this somewhere else. We can go and talk about, you know, getting another fight signed. I don't give a fuck. Like, that dude's about it. But something very unfortunate happened in that fight. In the middle of an exchange, Dawkins ended up, like, kind of putting his head down when he threw a punch, and also to, like, kind of dodge Kevin's attack where they were, like, trading right there. Dawkins ended up accidentally, it's not purposeful, it was an accidental headbutt that straight up hit Kevin straight in the chin and flash KO'd him. His eyes moved all around and shit like that when he got hit, so he was definitely out. Ended up falling flat on his face, and him bouncing his face off of the mat, he ended up waking up, and then turned around and started, you know, defending himself on the ground. He ended up having his back taken because obviously he's on the ground from the illegal strike. Accidental illegal strike, but still illegal. Dawkins ended up being able to take his back and then get the rear naked choke just standing, so... Fuck, man. Yeah, Kevin got knocked the fuck out by that headbutt or whatever. The fact that the fight was even allowed to go on from the ref just from watching that strike, like, blew my mind. He immediately, he knew that he got hit with something, so he literally did the hand signal to be able to review it. We very rarely ever actually get these things where the ref actually catches this kind of shit, so the fact that he actually waited for the review tells me that he knew an illegal strike happened right there, but because Kevin started defending himself, they kind of let it go, and he just ended up getting choked. Unnecessarily, in my opinion. Basically, they ended up turning this fight into a no contest, though. They ended up watching it over and determined that, you know, obviously he wouldn't end up being choked if it weren't for the illegal strike. Some people are like, oh, well, that's ridiculous. Dawkins got the finish. He damaged him. He did this, blah, blah. Man, that's a no contest, and it's based on an illegal strike. You can't even put that on a highlight reel ananywhere. You literally can't. How the fuck are you gonna tell me that's a legitimate win when you literally couldn't put that on anyone's highlight? You wouldn't be able to sit there and advertise Chris Dawkins as the guy out-striking and knocking out Kevin Holland. Because that's not what happened. He accidentally headbutted Kevin Holland and then choked him. So anybody that's fucking mad about that shit getting turned into a no contest, you're a Dawkins fanboy or a Kevin Holland hater. So that goes for no matter who was in that fight. If that happens, that should be the result. I'm very happy that it was a no contest rather than Dawkins getting the victory, because that would have been bullshit. Dawkins was fighting a good fight. He was not getting dominated or beaten in any way. He wasn't necessarily, you know, no one really did enough at that time by the time the headbutt had actually happened to determine who was really winning the fight. Dawkins went for a takedown. Kevin stayed up. They were grappling against the fence. Made that comment about him being long over to DC. Over at the commentator desk. Ref ended up separating them eventually because he wasn't getting anything done, wasn't getting a takedown, wasn't doing any damage. He was just holding him there. The ref separates them, and then the headbutt happens. One point in time where my life was so consumed with trying to beat Apex's time on Black Ops 3 free run, and by life consumed, literally, it was a few days, but, you know, honestly, I was very happy and impressed with the amount of time that I got there, because me trying to run it now, and I'm looking back at it, and I'm like, how the fuck did I do that in 2:05? I'm sitting here, my best time at that point was 2:40. I mean, given that was with a fault in there, and on that run, I definitely didn't fault. Apparently, New World is still bricking people's cards and shit like that. I know that there's a bunch of people that sit there and keep talking about. I watched Jay's 2 cents video yesterday. And as I've been playing New World, I think I have like 54 hours logged in the past week or whatever. Since the game came out, I have 52 hours played. I'd have more if I wasn't actually like making videos or whatever, because it's the only game I'm playing at the moment. As soon as I get off and I'm done with, you know, playing and everything, since at the moment I'm not working towards a camo or a challenge, I'm not gonna play free run all day. It doesn't really matter. I'm just spamming New World. I think JT's probably about to play soon, so I'm probably gonna start a new character on a different server that doesn't have a crazy queue. We can actually play consistently. There's been a lot of shit being said that New World, you know, bricks cards and all this other shit, and the 3090, for example, especially the 3090, seems to be like the biggest risk of actually having something happen to it, because I don't know, something about the way that how hot it ends up getting the video RAM inside of it. Since there's 24 gigs of it, you got all these little chiplets, you know? Each of them generate their own heat source. And the way that this game is written, or some shit like that, blah, 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 coding, whatever, it basically makes it incredibly hot. To the point to where some people's, like, solders and all sorts of other shit are popping, and then their card dies. I didn't realize this for the first, what, 40 or so hours that I was playing? I had it uncapped, overclock. I think it was like plus 100 to the base clock, plus 500 megahertz to the memory speed. I think it was like at like 10.2K or something. And my power consumption, all of the, I had everything. My voltage jacked all the way the fuck up, and I played for hours upon hours. Now, just because my GPU didn't break, doesn't mean that it won't. At this point, yeah, now I'm actually taking all the precautions. I have all the FPS cap. I stopped overclocking, and I actually end up underclocking now. The game has like some weird issue where its power consumption goes like super high, like, well over 100% or whatever you have it set to. It seems like it spikes like 15-20% higher than it should. So if you set the power consumption and the power limits to something lower, like Jay recommended, you would technically be safer if you end up, you know, experiencing one of those spikes that could break your car. Now, obviously, you could just not play New World and not risk that, or, you know, most people, they probably don't even have like a 3090 or whatever the way that cards are, and if you do have a 3090, the idea of your card just getting bricked from playing a single game is pretty terrifying. The more terrifying thought is, though, there's probably more games in the future coming that can do the same thing. I saw somebody say that the F1 game, F1 2022 or F2021, I don't know. Some people are saying their 3080, their 3080 Ti. Even I've seen people talk about their 6800, not even the 6900 XT, having the same thing happen. So I don't know, man. I have all the precautions though, because I'm not gonna stop playing. I'm sorry. I'll risk the card. If it breaks, I'll go back to my old PC. It's worth it to me. I need something to do. I need a direction in my life. I don't have a bunch of 3090s sitting around, but I have other cards that I could at least replace from old PCs and shit. And if it does break, well, lesson learned. I look like a dumbass and boom, I got a video to be able to make. Because at the end of the day, if the card gets bricked, it is content. I'm not about to force it. I will protect it in every way that I possibly can, and if it breaks doing that, it'll make the video even more interesting. Don't live your life like this. That doesn't feel good. Okay, well, what's not gonna feel good also is watching the Eagles get absolutely ass slammed for the next, you know, couple hours, but, you know, it is what it is. Kind of prepared for it, you know what I mean? We got the numbing gel and everything already. We're prepped. Looking forward to it.